Last night, Blake Lively broke her silence regarding the Justin Baldoni drama, appearing on Late Night with Seth Meyers.
And there's actually video footage of her pointing like
Blake Lively's shiny image has shattered completely when Seth Meyers unintentionally revealed the performance she was concealing all this time, and the truth spilled out in a way that left her carefully built mask slipping away as the illusion she maintained could no longer hold, and people began to see the raw, unpolished side she worked so hard to cover up.
Afraid to know too much about star signs, but yeah.
It's really hard to watch her now, I can't lie. It is really hard to watch her be this fake.
Take away the designer dresses and flawless smiles, and what remains is a woman using motherhood and clever media manipulation as armor. She is not the struggling fighter she presents herself to be. Instead, she is someone with advantage disguised as a symbol of strength and empowerment.
What I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. And I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences. And fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent.
Let us examine the late night show appearance in April 2025. It turned out to be one of the most awkward and obviously desperate publicity moves witnessed in years, because there is nothing that screams trying too hard to be relatable more than showing up in a massive wedding-style gown only to switch into another completely different outfit just for the sake of walking out again and making it look like a staged spectacle.
To be on this tour that's painting herself as a hero for all women. And it's pretty frustrating how Seth and just Hollywood in general seems to be accepting it.
She did not walk in like a regular guest. She charged onto the stage as if it were the Met Gala. The gown consumed the entire set, flowing off the chair in overwhelming layers of fabric. So over the top, it practically demanded a spotlight of its own.
Up the gate, there's just a level of awkwardness because, the dress doesn't fit his small chairs.
There are certain gets where I'm like, I really should just go back to a suit for tonight. This is a fantastic outfit.
Wear your wedding gown?
And why was all that done? It was only to deliver a dramatic tale about enduring the toughest struggles in life. Every single line sounded practiced. Every shake in her voice felt deliberately planned. But the real twist is that this emotional confession appeared only a few days after she had been served a subpoena by Justin Baldwin's legal team.
But you can't believe everything you hear, And, that's what it's feeling like, because there's more evidence and stuff that's painting the picture that Blake Lively's not being honest. And also, what are you afraid of? And what did he actually do?
Now she has been legally ordered to hand over messages, emails, and every chaotic piece of evidence connected to it ends with us. Yet rather than confronting that harsh reality, she is spinning her way across late-night television, draped in layers of chiffon, putting humility up for sale like fabric measured out by the yard.
And of course, she spoke to Seth Meyers beforehand on how they could, they had to mention something about everything that's been going on. And she said on his show that she couldn't talk that much about it.
And here is the final touch on this publicity disaster. Sunday media outlets such as Daily Mail and Page Six were already publishing glowing write-ups of Blake's interview before it had even been broadcast. That is not reporting. That is nothing more than a pre-written press packet her team is forcing headlines into the algorithm the way a desperate student rushes to finish an assignment at 3 a.m. This is not a genuine press tour. It is a smokescreen designed to distract.
I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak. So I do feel fortunate that I've been able to.
I don't know what to say. I feel like right now, the people that are most upset with Blake.
And while we are speaking about distractions, let us focus on the sudden explosion of paparazzi coverage surrounding Blake and Ryan. They appear to be everywhere at the same time. Red carpets, television interviews, even so-called candid autograph signings that look staged down to the smallest detail. This is not ordinary public relations. It is a full-scale saturation assault designed to flood every angle of attention.
Reynolds and Blake Lively, they're everywhere. We cannot open any website with any entertainment news without seeing them wearing something different in every photo, in every occasion, and posing in front of the paparazzi, signing off.
Their faces are overwhelming the media with even more intensity than endless sugar-free gum ads. And that is no accident. The strategy is crystal clear: drown the public in designer fashion, polished smiles, and surface-level charm until the subpoenas fade from memory, twist the narrative, put on a carefully styled appearance, and act as though the career is not barely surviving under the weight of legal trouble.
Smiling, being happy, and feeling popular. It's exhausting. So this is what they're trying to do, right?
And how does the media react? They treat her clothing choices as if they were classified intelligence. People magazine went so far as to publish not one but two separate pieces dedicated entirely to what she wore. The first article picked apart every detail of the massive wedding-style gown, from the deep neckline to the endless ruffles and even the sparkling heels that she could barely manage to walk in.
First, she arrived in style in a white gown or dress. White is the color of innocence. I don't think that was a coincidence. I don't think anything with Blake Lively right now is a
as if we required them to describe what was already obvious to everyone. Next came the follow-up article covering her second outfit: half-up curls, vibrant multicolored earrings, soft, glamorous makeup, truly revolutionary. Meanwhile, not a single mention was made of the subpoenas, the accusations, or the real legal chaos swirling just beneath the surface.
Trying to overwhelm us with appearances. So all that negativity that they received will be pushed down in Google and on social media, because now it's all about them looking pretty, looking in love.
And the most self-absorbed move of all unfolded right outside Blake and Ryan's high-end New York apartment. A giant poster for another simple favor mysteriously appeared across the street, so that every time she drew the curtains, she was confronted with her own name in letters even larger than Anna Kendrick's. That is not clever marketing. That is a personal shrine built in plain sight.
A lot more in the movie. She's carrying the movie, so Blake isn't even in it that much. But yeah.
And the twist of all twists, the film bombed so spectacularly on Amazon that IMDb was forced to begin removing reviews. Viewers erupted in protest, handing out one-star ratings like confetti, and the negative reaction became so intense that Amazon reportedly postponed releasing the audience score just to buy themselves more time to manage the fallout.
Please stop. Seattle Times is saying the plot is a mess and the runtime is overlong. The Guardian says another simple favor drops threads and drags on, but survives on its self-assured baseline plan.
And what was Blake's next move? She slipped into yet another gown and acted as if nothing had occurred. However, the critics refused to indulge her. The Washington Post handed her a single-star review. The Seattle Times labeled the storyline a complete disaster. And the Globe and Mail pleaded directly, please stop. This is not a comeback. It is a meticulously staged public collapse in high heels.
Know what's going on. The clips I've seen, it just reminds me that Blake Lively is not a great actress. And apparently Anna Kendrick is a lot more in.
Which brings us back to Seth Meyers, an interview so gentle it made T-ball seem like full contact. Seth danced around every real question as if lawsuits were dodgeballs, allegations were sidestepped, subpoenas brushed aside. And what did we receive instead? 5 entire minutes devoted to ICE.
The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just so admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very exciting.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand why it's a big deal. She has beef with
Yes, I was like, yeah.
Do you in life have beef with ice?
No, I love ice.
Yes, literal frozen water. Seth inquired if her character had a problem with ice, then asked if she herself had an issue with ice, and Blake, eager to appear playful, launched into a Frozen-themed song, as if she were trying out for kindergarten karaoke. Meanwhile, we are cracking jokes about ice while subpoenas quietly erode her career.
Like ice
Ice
too.
in my milk.
I think the first time we got an ice machine in a refrigerator.
Anyway, they go on a whole monologue about ice. Blake Lively starts quoting and singing from Frozen, and it even quotes our honest trailer. We are making ice. We did that in our honest trailer. I was proud of that.
Then arrived the typical PR escape line. Am not fully informed on this case, meaning, of course, I know everything, but prefer to maintain the celebrity facade. Blake spotted the opening and smoothly shifted into her motherhood speech. She described her daughters as her lifeline, insisting she has to be Disneyland every single day. Blake, you are not Cinderella. And when you're flitting from galas to red carpets to TV studios, who exactly is keeping the rides running?
Nice though, because they're honestly, I mean, it's no surprise I've had like a pretty intense year, and like they're just my lifeline. Like no matter what day I'm having, I have to be Disneyland every day for them, and so
they're my lifeline. And then she turned it. You hear how she did that? It's been she sets it up so it's clearly open for now. Seth can bring it in.
The whisper as the interview came to a close, Blake leaned forward, repeating, "Thank you. Thank you, thank you," like a student expressing thanks for an effortless exam. It was not genuine gratitude. It was pure relief, clear evidence that the entire segment had been carefully scripted damage control masquerading as lighthearted late-night entertainment.
Lifeline. Oh, they've taken me away. And there's one where you're like, oh, it's so sweet. You can go be with your kids because they don't read all the news and they'll love you. They're unconditional, etc. But then she's like, it's like I have to pretend to go into Disneyland every day. Oh, it's such a chore for me. It is so hard. It is so hard for me, people. Oh, will you please give me more empathy? Because it's so hard being Blake Lively right now, having to go to my nannies and everybody and all these trips where clearly my kids aren't here.
This was not an actual interview. It was a PR lifeboat complete with commercial pauses. Blake drifted in wearing a gown so massive it could have had its own postal code. She avoided every real question, switched into yet another designer outfit halfway through, and delivered rehearsed lines about her difficult year, all while concealing the legal storm brewing behind the scenes that is not true vulnerability, that is pure branding.
The whole thing just starts awkward out the gate and shows just admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very exciting.
Which is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand why.
And now the princess act is coming apart. One carefully staged interview, one awkward frozen joke, and a parade of one-star reviews bit by bit. Blake Lively is not rising from the ashes. Instead, she is parading into the spotlight in a dazzling white gown, proclaiming herself the champion of silenced women, while the echo chamber around her quietly empties with each passing day.
It's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and helped me in my belief in my fight for the world to be safer for women and girls. It's a pretty simple thing, but nothing. Thank you. It's true.
Oh, so courageous, so virtuous, except can someone remind me what exactly did Blake actually speak out about? What groundbreaking revelation did she share? He sniffed her hair, said it smelled nice. He entered her trailer after she invited him. And then, hold on, get ready, he kissed her after she bit his lip.
I think for all, like I said, for all real victims out there, just watching her sitting up there in her little princess dress, talking about victims, by the way. Someone sent me this video today. I had heard about this incident, that it happened, but I hadn't seen any video proof of it yet. But here it actually...
That is not testimony. That is nothing more than poorly written fanfiction. Tumblr era 2012 with all the glam squad's PR coaches and handlers on salary. You would assume Blake could at least deliver an allegation that does not read like a deleted scene straight out of Twilight.
Think about all these things that she has accused him of, and then she comes on national television to talk about how she's the voice of all these.
Meanwhile, genuine survivors of harassment and abuse are raising their voices, and they are outraged women who have endured systemic violence are not falling for the performance they took to social media to call out Blake for trivializing their trauma, and honestly, they are completely justified in doing so.
The Seth side of it. From the Blake side, this idea that she's now being silenced, that she's the voice for all women, that infuriates me. The fact that she's now trying to become the poster child for standing up. Standing up to what? You had all the control in that.
Because Blake did not merely minimize their suffering, she transformed it into a costume adorned with designer fashion, decorated with tears, and paraded it across late-night television as if it were a high-fashion runway. There is nothing empowering about pretending to be a victim for attention, particularly when the objective is to sabotage someone else's career without any proof.